Let me start by putting you right inside a moment you've probably experienced, even if you've never played professional sports in your life. Picture a packed stadium, floodlights blazing, thousands of people holding their breath, a single soccer ball resting on the penalty spot. The striker steps back. The goalkeeper stands on the line. From the moment the foot hits the ball to the moment it crosses the goal line, less than 3/10 of a second pass. Not enough time to track the ball, not enough time to analyze. The decision has to be made before the kick even happens. Left, right, or stay exactly where you are. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. 1/3 of all penalty kicks go straight down the middle. Goalkeepers know this, coaches know this, analysts know this. The data has been studied to death. And yet, almost every goalkeeper dives left or right. Why? Because imagine the alternative. Imagine standing still while the ball flies past you into the net. It looks pathetic. It feels humiliating. It feels like you didn't even try. Diving the wrong way feels better than doing nothing and being proven wrong. This is action bias, the deep, painful urge to do something, anything rather than wait. And once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. Let me take you somewhere completely different. It's late at night. A group of young people spill out of a nightclub. Voices are raised, hands are moving, the air is tense. This could go either way, cool down or explode. Police officers are nearby. The experienced ones don't rush in. They hang back. They observe. They let the emotional spike burn itself out. The younger officers, they feel the pressure, the uncertainty, the eyes of everyone watching. They step in early. They assert control. They take action. And ironically, that early intervention often makes things worse. Studies have shown that situations monitored patiently by senior officers result in fewer injuries than those where inexperienced officers jump in too fast. Same situation, same goal, different outcome. Why? Because waiting feels unbearable when you don't fully understand what's happening. Action bias becomes strongest when a situation is new, unclear, or emotionally charged, and this is where it quietly ruins lives. Think about investing. A beginner opens a trading app for the first time. Charts are moving. Numbers are flashing. News headlines scream urgency. They don't yet understand the market. They don't know how to value a business. They don't trust patience. So they trade constantly, obsessively, emotionally, buying, selling, adjusting, tweaking, not because it's smart, but because inactivity feels like failure. Meanwhile, seasoned investors often do the exact opposite. They wait, they observe, they do nothing for long stretches of time. And when asked why, one of the greatest investors in history summed it up perfectly. We have discipline in avoiding just doing any damn thing just because we can't stand inactivity. That sentence should hit you like a slap, because it exposes something uncomfortable. Most action isn't driven by logic, it's driven by discomfort. Doctors fall into this trap too. Imagine you go to a hospital with vague symptoms, nothing immediately life-threatening, no clear diagnosis. The doctor has two options. Option 1, wait, run more tests. Observe how the symptoms evolve. Option 2, prescribe something. Intervene. Do something now. Even when waiting is medically smarter, doctors often choose action. Not because they're greedy, not because they're careless, but because uncertainty is unbearable. Doing something feels responsible. Waiting feels negligent, even when the outcome is worse. Now, here's where things get interesting. This bias didn't come from nowhere. It's ancient. Tens of thousands of years ago, if you saw a shape move at the edge of the forest, you didn't sit down and analyze probabilities. You ran. If it was a tiger and you hesitated, you died. If it was just the wind and you ran, you survived. Action beat reflection, and we are the descendants of those who moved first and thought later. But here's the problem. The world changed. Our instincts didn't. Modern life doesn't reward constant motion. It rewards timing. It rewards restraint. It rewards judgment. But socially, we still worship action. You don't get medals for waiting. You don't get applause for holding back. No one builds statues for the person who didn't act and saved everyone quietly. But take bold action, any action, and if things improve even by coincidence, you're praised. You're decisive. You're a leader. You took charge. This is why bad decisions often get rewarded and good restraint gets ignored. And this is why watching and waiting feels like torture. Because when you wait, you're exposed. There's no movement to hide behind. No activity to signal competence. No motion to mask uncertainty. You're just there, with your thoughts, with your doubt. With the possibility of being wrong. So you act, not because it's right, but because it relieves the psychological pressure. After acting, you feel better, even if you made the situation worse. That's the most dangerous part of action bias. It rewards you emotionally while punishing you strategically. Let me give you a painfully relatable example. You're in a relationship. Something feels off. You don't know exactly what. Instead of observing, listening, letting patterns reveal themselves, you confront. You demand clarity. You force a conversation. You push for answers before the truth is ready. And suddenly, what could have resolved itself quietly becomes a crisis. Not because the problem was big, but because you couldn't tolerate the waiting. Or think about your career. A project isn't moving. Your boss hasn't replied. You don't know where you stand. So you send another email and another and another. Not to add value, but to relieve anxiety. And ironically, you end up signaling insecurity instead of competence. The hardest skill in modern life isn't intelligence. It's restraint. The ability to sit still when every nerve in your body screams to move. The ability to watch without interfering. To wait without panicking. To let information come to you instead of forcing outcomes. This is why Blaise Pascal's line still stings centuries later. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Think about that. Wars, financial bubbles, broken relationships, career disasters. So many of them trace back to one thing. Someone couldn't wait. So here's the uncomfortable but liberating truth. In unclear situations, doing nothing is often the highest form of action. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't feel heroic. It doesn't earn applause. But it preserves optionality. It protects you from irreversible mistakes. It lets reality reveal itself. The goalkeeper who stands still doesn't look brave. The investor who doesn't trade doesn't look smart. The leader who waits doesn't look decisive. But over time, they win. Because while everyone else is reacting to discomfort, they're responding to reality. So the next time you feel that itch, that restless need to intervene, to reply, to act, to murmur, pause. Ask yourself a brutally honest question. Am I acting to improve the situation, or just to stop feeling uncomfortable? If it's the second one, sit still, wait. Because in a world addicted to motion, the person who can endure stillness holds an invisible advantage, and it's one most people will never develop.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.